Hey everyone, and welcome. This is a Skill Wanderer learning module, and today we're going to dive into a really powerful idea that can completely change how we build software. It's called shifting left. And hey, if you've ever felt that last-minute crunch of fixing bugs right before a deadline, this one is definitely for you. So I want to kick things off with a question for all of you. When does the testing phase really begin? Now, if the first thing that pops into your head is that super stressful period right before release, when everyone's scrambling, well, you've just hit on the exact problem we're here to solve today. Here's how we're going to break it all down. First, we'll look at the seriously high cost of waiting to test. Then, we're going to completely redefine what a tester's role should be. After that, we'll see what this proactive approach looks like in the real world. And finally, we'll pull it all together with a big idea. All right, let's get into it, starting with the core problem, the high cost of waiting. And believe me, this isn't just about money. It's about the time, the stress, and the overall health of your entire project. This, right here, this is the absolute truth we've got to wrap our heads around. If testing is just an afterthought, something you tack on at the end, you've already lost the battle for real quality. The goal isn't just to find bugs, it's to prevent them from ever even existing in the first place. Okay, now this is fascinating. What you're looking at is a classic visual for the cost of change curve, and it's a real eye-opener. See, finding a mistake way back in the requirements phase, when it's just a sentence in a document, might cost, say, a single dollar to fix. But if you wait until development, that cost jumps to $10. And if you don't find it until the software is live, we're talking 100 times the cost, or even more. And that's not even counting the damage to your reputation. So what does this all mean? It means we have to flip the script. Your real job, your most valuable contribution, isn't hunting down bugs in the finished code. It's about finding the flaws, the gaps, the uh-oh moments in the ideas themselves, long before they ever become software. That's a huge, game-changing shift in mindset. Okay, so if testing isn't just one big phase at the end, what is it then? Let's zoom out and really dig into the big picture of what we call continuous quality. Here at Skill Wanderer, we have a kind of golden rule that sums this up perfectly. And it's simple. Testing is an activity, not a phase. It's not a box you check. It's something that's happening all the time, woven into the entire process. Think of this table as your new roadmap. Seriously, just look closely. From the moment you're talking about requirements, all the way through design, development, and even ongoing maintenance, there is a crucial, active role for a quality professional in every single step. It's not about waiting for your turn, it's about being engaged from day one. All right, that's the big idea, but what does this actually look like on the ground? Let's get into the nitty-gritty of how this proactive testing works day to day. How do you find those bugs before the code is even written? Okay, during the requirements phase, this is your time to shine as the chief skeptic. You're not testing code, you're static testing the documents, the blueprint for the software. You're reading it and asking the hard questions. Does this make sense? What are we missing? And the big one, how will we know without a shadow of a doubt when this is done right? And here is a perfect example of the value you bring. On the left, you've got a requirement like the password should be strong. I mean, what does that even mean? It's impossible to test. But by asking questions, by pushing for clarity, you help transform it into something concrete and testable on the right. That single act can prevent tons of confusion and bugs down the road. Then we move into the design phase. Now you're looking at wireframes, at flowcharts, and you're the user's #1 advocate. This is where you get to ask all those fun what-if questions. Hey, what happens if someone uploads a corrupted file? What if they try to upload a video that's way too big? You're stress testing the logic before it costs anything to build. Now, I've got to bust a huge myth right here. The idea that while developers are coding, testers are just kicking back and waiting? No way. That could not be further from the truth. In fact, this should be your busiest preparation time. You're setting the stage for success. Right, so while that code is being hammered out, you are busy building your arsenal. You're writing those super detailed, step-by-step test cases. You're creating realistic test data, fake users, sample orders, the whole shebang. You might even be reviewing the basic unit tests. This parallel work is what makes the final check so much faster. And all of this whole philosophy of being proactive, of getting involved early, of making quality a team sport, it all leads us here. This smarter approach has a name in the industry, and it's called shifting left. So let's visualize the old way, the traditional process. You see that giant block for test all the way on the right?
That's a bottleneck. It's a traffic jam where all the pressure, all the risk, and all the surprises just get crammed into those last few frantic days before launch. It's inefficient, and honestly, it's just incredibly stressful.
But now, look at this. This is the shift left process. See the difference? We've taken that one huge, scary block and sprinkled it throughout the entire timeline in little, manageable activities. The end of the project isn't some chaotic testing marathon. It's a much calmer, quicker verify step because we've been building quality in from the very beginning. So, at the end of the day, why do this? What's the payoff? Well, the benefits are huge and they're crystal clear. Developers get feedback almost instantly, not weeks later when they've already moved on. The cost to fix those defects plummets, just like we saw in that chart. And maybe the most important thing of all, quality becomes something that is built into the product, not something you try to inspect on at the end. And that's what this is all about. So, I'll leave you with this final thought to take with you. Based on everything we've just covered, what's one small step, just one single action that you can take this week to start shifting left in your own work? Thank you for learning with us here at Skill Wanderer.